That's Sutton. I'm Simply. And this is the Purple Rain Podcast. Welcome back to episode 196 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you all for coming through to this Friday Eve edition, this preview edition for the Week 4 game against the Cleveland Browns. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow this guy on Instagram, on Twitter at Sutton Death. You can follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter at simplyas10. And most importantly, our sponsor, Manscaped. Go in there, get yourself something nice. Spooky season is almost here, which basically means holiday season is almost here. So if you want to get an early start on some Christmas shopping, some Hanukkah shopping, Manscaped. Go in there. You can buy anything you want to. Use code PRP at checkout for 20% off your whole order and free international shipping. That is the kicker. But most importantly, Sutton, how are you doing today on this Thursday, on this day where I know you're going to the game tomorrow where the Orioles could win the AL East tonight?
Really?
Yes,
I know that. It's news to me. I am going to see the Orioles play tomorrow night, so I'm excited for that to be back in the Camden Yards for the first time in a lot of years, actually, now that I think about it. But no, I'm doing really well. Like I just told you before we went on air, just happy that there's another football week here and ready to go. We got a Thursday night game coming on tonight. Your team, your secondary team at least, the Lions are taking on the Packers. You guys know we'll get into our picks, our parlays, all that. So make sure you stick around. But just again, I want to thank everybody for coming out, listening, watching this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 196. He already did all the formalities and whatnot. So let's just go ahead and bring up who we got here in the live chat as we normally would. We got Lisa Ann in the chat, says, please make sure you tap the like button. Thank you so much, Lisa. We appreciate you. We appreciate that. J Prime in the house says, hello, everyone. What's going on? J Prime, Raven Ron in the building says, what up, PRP? His keys to victory are getting rid of the ball quick on offense and stopping the fumbling and taking sacks. Yeah, for sure. We'll get into our keys to victory. We got Dylan Paul in the house, says, what's up, fellas? It's been a while since I got to catch a live episode. What's going on, Dylan? That's my guy right there. My guy Dylan's been in the gym too. He's been working out, pumping that iron. You know what I'm saying? He's looking real swole. Man. He's looking like he might be able to rush the passer. I don't know. We might need to send him out there.
Listen, with the way the I-word report's looking right now, no Owe, no Ajabo. Hey, call up Dylan.
Darius, the official in the house, says, what's good, Rain Gang? What's going on, Darius? Appreciate you for coming through. Purple Rain Pioneer right there. Quoney in the house, what's going on? We got Void in here. How can we beat Cleveland for starters? Not beating ourselves. I know that's right.
Yep.
K-Dog, that's Mod K-Dog to you all. Says, PRP is sponsored by Manscaped. Code PRP for 20% off and free international shipping. Yes, sir. Giving the shameless plug there. Kareem in the building says, Rain Gang, I'm so mad I couldn't make the fantasy league next year, though. Yeah, we do it every year. So, yeah, you have another shot.
Yeah.
Okay. I see Seth is in the house as well. I see Max is in the house. I see Dre. I see Cheek says, happy Browns week. What's going on, Cheek? Zach in here. A lot of you guys are in here. King Don is in the house, or King Dan. I think it's King Dan. Yeah, King Dan. Appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Episode 196 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Make sure you guys like this video. Subscribe to the channel as well. All right. So, Alex, been a little while since we talked, about 2-3 days. But some things have transpired, and we kind of touched on it before we went live here. You said that it's been mainly good news, which is obviously good news. So go ahead and get into the latest developments of the Ravens.
Well, I forgot what I usually do is, it's 196. So I'd be remiss. It's a Adelius Thomas episode, Brent Urban episode, Broderick Washington Jr. episode, Marcus Spears episode, Maki Kiminatsu, Demata Pekka. Had to get out the way. Don't want to, ruffle any feathers. Just kind of a tradition. But yes, good news. We have a new player on the practice squad in one Kyle Van Noy. You remember we brought him in for a visit, didn't sign him, signed to Devion Clowney. And then, we had our little issues going on with the edge rush, and we bring him in on the practice squad wearing number 50, the same number Justin Houston wore last year.
Interesting.
Nothing crazy, on the practice squad. I'm not going to sit here and say we just signed Lawrence Taylor, but it's much needed help. I will tell you that. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, from a depth perspective, I can definitely be excited as well. I share that same excitement. This is not a guy we're bringing in to wreck games, right? It's not a guy we're bringing in to literally turn around our pass rush, like doing a complete 180. It's not that, you know. Um, Defensive players, they play a lot of snaps on Sundays, man. So you got to have guys to rotate in and out. And with the fact that we don't have David Ojabo and Adafe Owe right now, I kind of by default love the move. Well, I can't say I love it. I'll say I like it because I feel like this should have been taken care of a little while ago. You know, they should have had that insurance in their back pocket. You think?
Speaking of snaps, you saw that post they put out about Darrell Worley playing like 102, 104 snaps.
Not a flex. Not
Yeah,
a flex.
like that's not something I want to celebrate. Like that is how you get
Right.
people hurt by playing that many snaps. Yeah, no, please let's not have that happen again. But actually, yeah, I actually love it. Practice squad move, probably incentive based. He ended the season last year in regular season, a sack in his last 5 games, a couple pass deflections, a couple forced fumbles recovered. The guy still has it, and the guy has postseason experience, won 2 Super Bowls. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say it's like an amazing signing, but it's something that we need. So I'm happy we got it done sooner rather than later, and how he could be on the field suiting up on Sunday. So welcome, Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, definitely welcome. Definitely a warm welcome. Like you said, we need the help. I honestly think, and I think I said this in a short. He's kind of to me like a little bit older Tyus Bowser, you know,
Yeah,
a little bit better in like pass coverage, not necessarily rushing the quarterback as much, but I think it's a nice addition, and I think that he'll fit in nicely with our defense. I think that Mike McDonald um, has a plan in order to utilize him and for him to be effective on this defense. So just like a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, I feel like Kyle Van Noy can come in and have some similar production. Like I
yeah,
said, he's not going to be any sort of game wrecker, but at this point, we got to take what we can get, right?
yeah.
Because guys are hurt, and that's what we're talking about next. The health report
Oh,
going into this game versus the Cleveland Browns, 1 p.m. CBS in Cleveland. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring up our slides as we normally would. Break down the full health report up to the date. Alex, take it away.
fantastic. Yes. So the Ravens, once again, we look like an essay. Let's go with who didn't practice so far. Rashad
Okay.
Bateman, Odell Beckham Jr. All right. Well, what we thought was really strong for the Ravens, we're down our 1 and 2 receivers, and then we're down obviously Tylan Wallace, who was on the injured reserve. So we re-signed was Dante Demas and oh my god, Tariq Black to the practice squad. So I'm expecting Laquan Treadwell to be activated as well, get him up there for the game. So doesn't really hurt. And then also Marlon Humphrey hasn't practiced. Ojabo and Owe have not practiced. So we are short on the receivers and on the edge rushers. Gus Edwards has been full the past 2 days. That is fantastic news.
Yes.
And then something that I'm gonna, keep my eye on is that Linderbaum and Stanley both limited, but that's good news to me. They're coming back. Hopefully our line is gonna be healthy. And then right there, Marcus Williams. Just 3 weeks ago, I was told that he may have been out for the season. Limited yesterday and full today. Yes, Kareem, we're gonna talk about how Marcus Williams is already back at practice, not just limited, a full participant. What a soldier, what a dog, what a Raven. God bless you, Marcus Williams. Looking down at the Browns, Joel Bitonio, limited. They're healthy. All right, I'm not going to sit here. Newsome, full. Kareem Hunt, full. I'm sorry. Hudson, Jerome Ford, they're full. They're healthy. Those guys aren't going to miss the game. They're going to have healthy scratches. Must be nice. So it's a Ravens game to go in there and banged up again, but to make some noise.
Yeah. Marcus Williams, I'll start there. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is amazing the fact that a couple weeks ago we thought that he might have had a season-ending incident, I word, whatever you want to call it, right? We don't say the I word here on the Purple Rain podcast, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, it's great to have him back as a full participant in practice. But let me ask you this. Was it reported that Marcus Williams actually did tear his pec? Like, was that what the MRI confirmed or no?
I don't think it did. I'm not sure what, but they said that was the initial fear.
Right.
But there was
they said it ended up just being like swelling, like it was really swollen. I remember them saying that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess my assumption is that the swelling has gone down, the pain has subsided a little bit, and now that he's able to get back to practice, we may expect him to see him on the field on Sunday or maybe next Sunday. So that's certainly good news. Kind of breaking down a little bit more of what we have on our iWord report here. Like you mentioned, Rashad Bateman and Odell Beckham Jr., no practice at all. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It seems like what we thought was a position of strength for the Ravens is now, you know, kind of down to what we're used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of back to what we're
Yeah.
used to. And I can't say that I did not see this coming at all. I can't say that. I can't say that. I mean, I know the history of these two guys. I mean, they get banged up. They sit out a couple games, whatever. And it's a 17-game season. So I would rather, even if those guys are good to go with limited practice and they just didn't practice, I would rather just err on the side of caution. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I feel like this Ravens team is good enough as is without having an all-star receiving core. We're good enough to make the playoffs. We've kind of proven that year in and year out, right? So I would, I'm of the school of thought, kind of rest those guys. Then the guys in the middle, Gus Edwards, full participant, like you said, that's awesome. We're definitely going to need his production. Kyle Hamilton and Justice Hill limited, just good to know they're practicing, right?
Yep.
Marlon Humphrey is one that kind of stands out to me. I saw somebody tweet earlier today. They said, if Marlon was going to be out the first 4 weeks, then why didn't he just start the season on IR? And a lot of people are just saying like, well, they didn't really expect Marlon to be out this long. And so it just, and with the Ravens, they always kind of downplay how serious an I word is. So we really don't know until we know. And now we know. It must have been something serious. I don't know how serious it was, the degree of it necessarily, but what are your thoughts on Marlon Humphrey right now in the secondary?
So you're telling me Marcus Williams started the season, tore his pec, came back for Marlon Humphrey.
Right,
I don't think it's on him. I don't think it's on him. I think so. I listened to this podcast with Jack Settleman from Snapback Sports. Fantastic podcast, by the way. And it sounded like Humphrey is like ready to go, but it's like the doctor's holding him back. So I think it's the Ravens being very cautious with him. But even then, you think they maybe ease him into practice, maybe working on the side by himself. I know it's reported Tyus Bowser's been working on the side by himself. But I'm kind of just like, if you're gonna be that cautious, I'm on the school of thought. Well, just throw him on IR for the first 4 games. What do you gain from this? You're kind of taking up a roster spot right now. I don't get it. I'm confused. But then again, we're just fans, so we're not really owed an explanation, unfortunately.
Yep. End of the bar. End of the bar.
Hope you guys are drinking something good at the end of the bar. So I know I am.
Exactly. But yeah, getting into the Browns report. Only thing that really stands out to me is Deshaun Watson with a right shoulder that he's dealing with, which is, of course, his throwing shoulder. That is going to, I don't know the degree of pain he's in or how limited he may be because of that, but it's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll play. But we know that. Hopefully we can stress it a little bit more.
Yeah, but I know he'll play. It's just like, can we get after him? Do we even have the guys to get after Deshaun Watson? You know what I mean? Yeah.
He has a bonehead playing him at least once a game. You see his play last week he made when he threw it behind him?
Yeah.
Like he has that bonehead play in him. So hopefully another one comes out from Deshaun Watson.
I mean, we know Deshaun Watson. He is he's a tough athlete for sure. I mean, we've witnessed Deshaun Watson get kicked in the face and throw a touchdown on the very same play. He's gonna play. He's gonna show up. He's gonna do his thing. But we just have to be able to get pressure on him and do not let him feel comfortable. I know this. I say this every week with pretty much every quarterback, but like, no, there's just no excuse, especially when he's dealing with a right shoulder. Get after him.
Yep.
And I want them to do it early too. Engraven in the house says, Rain Gang, what's going on, Engraven Vids? Appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you.
It's funny. I was talking to a coworker yesterday who's also a Ravens fan, mutual Ravens fan, and we were just talking about the team, and he's like, yeah, my favorite Ravens YouTuber, Team Keep It Clean, is always yada yada. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know Engraven. Yes, that's my guy. That's my guy. So it was a pretty cool moment. Engraven's all around the world, man. We appreciate you. for what you do.
Global, international.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our breakdown and slash keys to victory with our Purple Rain preview. As you can see here, just kind of the average stats from both teams up until this point, as we normally do. Let's start with the Ravens. So passing yards per game is going to be 202. Rushing yards per game for the Ravens is going to be 158. Allowing 230 passing yards a game and allowing only 92 rushing yards per game. And then in terms of points per game, we're averaging 23.7 and we're allowing 18.3 points per game. Now let's take a look at the Browns. And let me just say this before I get into the Browns stats. This is, I think, the first week where we have been at a statistical disadvantage going into the matchup. So let's go ahead and get into the Browns. So passing yards game, 226, 160 rushing yards per game. Obviously, no more Nick Chubb, but Jerome Ford is making the best of his opportunities. So we'll see what happens there. Passing yards allowed per game, only 136. Okay, only 136. And then rushing yards allowed per game, only 52. That defense is scary right now.
Yeah, that's a really good defense.
Yeah, averaging 24 a game and only letting up 10 a game is, that's definitely that's something to write home about if you're a Browns fan, for sure. I could say that.
They gave up 3 points twice this season against the Titans and the Bengals. I'm not going to sit here and discredit the Browns, but that is a very, very good stat line. Should we just get in the keys of the game, I guess? Is that what we're about to do?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Keys of the game for me. I personally think we're gonna break that rushing yards allowed game in the first quarter. I think we'll have over 52 rushing yards in the first quarter. And I think that is one of my first keys is running, down their throats and kind of getting those guys tired up front because this defense is really nothing to play about. Jim Schwartz has turned it around. I think last time we saw a Jim Schwartz defense was in 2020 against the Eagles, and Lamar low-key kind of cooked them. But things have changed. I think we've gotten better in skill position-wise, but my first key is that running with them, Gus and Justice look like they will play. Maybe Melvin Gordon, Kenyon Drake. I'm not sure, but I would much prefer it be the latter. And run it down their throats. Run it and let's see how they like it. 'Cause I think they're going to expect us to throw it, but let them see how some Gus Edwards feels and see if they really want to keep tackling him. That's my first key.
Yeah,
running it.
I like that. Let me see. Raven Ron saying here, aggressive defense and run at them. Yeah, I love it. I love it. You got to be physical in a game like this. AFC North opponent. It's going to be a physical football game. That's all the guys have been talking about in all the press conferences all week on both sides. So Browns, Ravens players, they all know what it is, what this game means, and it's every AFC North matchup, to be honest with you. But this one's going to be a tough one. Let me see. Nick says, do you think Gus will be limited coming off of concussion protocol?
That's a good question. I want to say no because he's been full the past 2 days, which means maybe he didn't really have a concussion. Maybe it was, just kind of just precautionary. I'm not too sure.
Maybe. Let me see. Max says, run the ball and hit Andrews off a play action. I like that. Like that a lot. I can definitely see us setting up some runs on, first and second down, us kind of getting back to traditional Ravens football, running the ball first and second down. And on third down, maybe you have, a boot or play action. And I think the biggest thing is you're going to have your tight ends chip. They're going to have to be chipping all game. So whether it is Mark Andrews out there likely or Patrick Ricard lined up on the outside of the tackles, they're going to have to chip Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith if we want any chance for success on offense this week, So I think that's going to be one of my keys to victory. At least I think that's going to be my biggest key to victory. Offensive line blocking and just getting that extra help for Lamar, because you've seen some guys haven't been playing to the level that we need them to on the offensive line. One name that comes to mind is Kevin Zeitler. I have all the belief that he will step it up as the games go by, as the weeks go by. But the offensive line is just going to need some extra help. And whether that look like Lamar recognizing when blitzes are coming and, sending his running back to the correct side to block or making his correct checks, doing whatever. Pick up on the blitzes, block Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett. That is the biggest key to victory, because if we can't do that, we lost. It's just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. If they're wrecking our game, we lost. So that's going to be my biggest key to victory there. Also, another key to victory for me is going to be this one's going to be on Todd Monken, because as you guys know, Todd Monken was the former offensive coordinator for the Browns just a few years ago before he went to Georgia. So there's some familiarity there, but I would just say to Todd Monken, look, man, call your game. Don't overthink it. Call your game, man. You've got a totally different tool of weapons on this team. You know, Lamar Jackson is like unlike anything you've ever played with before. So utilize him. You know, make the Browns stop him.
Yeah, I like that. That kind of goes hand in hand with one of my keys is spreading the ball around to your receivers. You know, when we do pass,
Okay.
you know, if we feels like we've been force feeding Zay Flowers, and I'm not gonna sit here and say
Yes.
like I hate it, but you know, I think we have guys out there that can, when they get the ball in their hands, they can make something happen. Let it be a Nelson Aguilar, you know, or if I even Laquan Treadwell, he showed me something in the preseason, had that nice touchdown grab against the Bucks, and then even spread it to Mark Andrews. You know, I think he definitely deserves a little bit more looks at his way. Likely, you know, that drop last week kind of has me feeling iffy about him, but I would like us to spread the ball around and make them guess. You know, let them think that we're going to feed Zay and he'll get his chances. But I think this is a game where Mark Andrews, you know, will move the chains 3 or 4 times. Honestly, this could be a 6-7 catch Mark Andrews game for me. And I just want to spread it around, and I'm right there with you about the Todd Monken. I'm glad he accepted responsibility for last week because the offense has got to be better.
Yeah. Sports Gaming YouTube saying Rashad Bateman as well. Not sure. Well, don't think he's going to play this week, him or Odell. But yeah, I mean, those are some overall keys to victory for the Ravens to beat the Browns. And, you know, that's the title of the video, how the Ravens can beat the Browns. So if you listen to the last 4 or 5 minutes of what we said, that's going to be the key. Now, let me bring up a comment here by Lisa. Lisa says, Alex and Sutton Def, what are the odds of Zay Flowers getting his first touchdown?
I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
I can tell you FanDuel odds will be like plus
Right,
150 or something like that.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because like we really haven't been throwing it in the red zone, and we've been running it. If you think about the first week, you know, we were running it with Justice, ran it with Dobbins. The Bengals, you know, we weren't even in the red zone, I think, when we threw the one to Aguilar. Well, to the Andrews, that one was in the red zone, but Gus got his. We run it more likely, you know, we're close to the. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say Zay this week. It very well could be. I thought Bateman was going to get 100 yards last week, and that was dead wrong. Got 1 catch.
Yeah. It's hard
This
to
could be a physical
predict.
game.
It's hard to predict Zay Flowers touchdowns because, like you said, in the red zone, we like to kind of still fight in the phone booth a little bit. You know, we like to run the ball. But did you look at the route tree that Zay Flowers
Oh, of
ran
course.
on last week? Nothing deep, nothing even really intermediate. It's just all short stuff, you know, curls, flat routes, things like that, screens.
Yeah.
What do you think that the Ravens need to mix up uh the type of attack they're utilizing with Zay Flowers?
I think the first 2 weeks we saw what Zay Flowers is about. Last week, I'm going to account it to the weather. I'm going to account it to the offensive line blocking.
Sure.
Because, you know, the
Yeah.
first 2 weeks, you know, we saw him, you know, deeper down the field, running more, you know, than just those, you know, short intermediate routes. So I'm still going to give the time. I'm not going to sit here and get all upset about it. I saw, you know, some fans were kind of like low key kind of on like a Monken out train, which is crazy within 3 weeks. Like we're 2-1. Like we very well could be 3-0 if we didn't fumble the ball in awful spots last week. But
Yep.
I'm not going to, you know, stress about it right now. I think this week, I think Zay's going to get over 75 yards. I'll tell you that. I think he will have a 20 plus yard catch and get some action off of that. I don't think it'll just be the short stuff this week.
So you think that Zay Flowers will establish himself as an AFC North problem this week? I mean, because he kind of did
Yeah.
against not the Browns, but the
Yeah.
Bengals, right? But against the
Yeah, I know.
Browns, man, he's gonna become a Browns killer. I love that. I think I saw somebody else talking about Mark Andrews. Max says Andrews is a
Oh my
Browns
God.
killer. Yeah, hopefully we can get
Loves
a
playing
heavy
him.
dose. of Mark Andrews. So this will be his third game back. We'll see what he puts on tape. Let's see. Excuse me. Another key to victory coming from our guy Dylan says we need to feed the hot hand at running back and stop splitting carries. And you guys remember last week we were pushing the ball down the field, moving the ball down the field. Give the ball to Kenyon Drake in his first game as a Raven this year. Fumbles the ball after like a 30-yard run, and that just completely changed the whole complexity of the game. So, complexion of the game. Sorry, but yeah, it's important for us to feed the hot hand. I think because when you start trying to split up carries too much, guys lose their rhythm, and running backs get hot, and like you just need to keep them on the field until they get tired, of course. But what are your thoughts on that?
Fantastic, thank you. And yes, running backs get hot the same way in basketball. If a guy's hitting shots, guess what? He's hot. Keep feeding them. I don't. There's no difference in the sport. If they're hot, they're hot. Give them the ball. And we'll hand this. We'll give a guy 2 runs. He'll break them off for like 5 and 8 yards. You have 13 yards on 2 carries, and they'll bring in freaking Melvin Gordon for a run. It makes no sense. And I get fatigue. I get being tired, but man, let him run. Let him just be physical. And that's basically Gus Edwards' whole career. He will make some really, really good plays and not see the field for another like 2 quarters or the next game. And what's the excuse for this year? There's no excuse for Gus not to be the primary lead back.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's see. Nick says here, I think Patrick Ricard will be next to Lamar most of the game. So that means that you're assuming we're going to be in a lot of heavy personnel sets, which I can see that. I can see that. I can see us trying to bludgeon, that Browns defense early, like Alex was saying, we got to wear those guys down, get them tired in the trenches, and then we just kind of take advantage from there. So I definitely get your point, Nick, for sure.
I think if he's not next to Lamar, I want him next to either Ronnie Stanley or Morgan Moses, helping him with Myles Garrett. That's really where I'm worried about.
Yeah. Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. I mean, both those guys can be dangerous for sure.
Pick your poison.
Right. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some score predictions for this game, right? So yeah, if you're watching live right now, go ahead and drop your score predictions down below in the live chat. If you're not watching this episode of the Purple Rain podcast live and you happen to be a part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for coming out to this episode of the show. We appreciate you all the same. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so score predictions for this one. I am going to go with a Ravens loss. I am.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go 27-20. I'm gonna go 27-20. I think we lose by a touchdown here. I think it's just gonna be one of those games where Lamar Jackson is running all over the place, and I don't mean in the good way either. And you guys know the difference. So I think it's going to be, like I said, just one of those games, man. And we're on the road. Guys are hurt. I know guys are coming back, but it just seems like I don't like speaking stuff into existence, but like these games are killing us, man. They're killing us. Yeah. And I get to see the Browns kind of squeaking away with this one. So yeah, give me the Browns 27-20.
I completely understand. I get where you're coming from. Me personally, though, I have the good guys winning. I was winning 28-24.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly probably should have us losing, to be honest. Like, if I'm being the realist, I feel like this is a game we should lose. But with kind of what we went through last week, we've been really heavily criticized since the game last week. Look what people are saying about us, kind of getting counted out. And I really would not like us to go 2-2 and, taking a loss against a divisional opponent. But I am going to stand by my school of thought that we rested guys last week to win these games in the AFC North. So give me the win, but if we were to lose, I'm not going to sit and say I'd be shocked. But this game,
what did you say the score was going to be again?
28-24.
28-24.
4 touchdowns.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, if we score 4 touchdowns, I would be very happy.
I'd like over 30 points. Like, I think the goal this week is to get over 30 points. Like, I'm sorry, maybe the Dolphins did something to me, but they put up 70 points with ease. I want 30. That's not asking for a lot. It is what it is.
I was so jealous. I was so jealous as a Ravens fan. Like, damn, they get to put up 70? Like they get to put
Right.
up 70 points. Like we're lucky if
Without
we
Jalen
get
Waddle?
28. Exactly, man. It's we got to start scoring in Baltimore. Simple as that. But no, I love that score prediction, Alex. I hope that you are right and I am wrong. Let's see what the Rain Gang is saying down here. So Nick brings up good weather in Cleveland on Sunday, 60 to 75 degrees. That's perfect football weather, honestly. Not too hot, not too cold at all. That's perfect football weather. No excuses with
See,
the
I'm
weather this week.
jealous of like the warmer states. You know, imagine it's like a December and like you want to go to the football game this Sunday? What's the weather? 78 degrees and clear. I am so
Perfect.
jealous. Last year in December, it was like negative something, it felt like, with the wind chill, you know,
Yep.
and tickets are going for like $7 because nobody wanted to be out there in the cold. Oh, I would love that
Exactly.
weather year round.
Yeah. I mean, even like out on the West Coast and the warmer states and stuff, like they get to watch football earlier in the day on Sundays. Like,
Right.
you know,
Oh,
we're
literally
watching
all
it at
day.
1 p.m. Right. They're watching it as soon as they wake up. Like they don't have to wait. You know, they watch it as soon as they wake up, and then they
And
have
the London
midday
game,
games, and they have
it's at 6 o'clock
man.
for them. That's what time I get up to watch soccer. I am jealous of that. I'd love to watch
Yeah,
football
man.
from 6 o'clock in the morning to like what? With Sunday night games and around 11, so till 8 p.m. I'd love that.
Yeah, we might have to move out to the West Coast, man, become some West Coast Ravens fans.
West
I
Coast
know a
is the
couple of those
best
too.
coast.
That's what they say. Let's bring up you guys' score predictions on here. Zach White says, sorry, but I got the Browns 23-20 game-winning field goal. That would hurt. Not gonna lie. Dylan says 24-20 Ravens. Love that. Raven Ron says 20-17 Ravens. Keebler Elves. Let's see.
The Jamar Chase. I like that.
Let's see. 30-21 Ravens from Cameron Hines. Yolanda says 27-24 Ravens. Okay, so most of us are predicting a game within like 10 points or so. Dre says 26-17 Ravens. Nick says 24-20 Ravens dub. And then Lisa, as always, with the blowout. 45-10 Ravens Purple Hearts. I mean, I would love that. We want Lisa's predictions to come true every single week. Every single week. Okay, so now that we've gotten through our score predictions for this game, I think we can go ahead and get into our picks for the rest of the games, right? I think it's about that time, Alex. I think it's about that time to get into some picks. Thank you guys so much for dropping your score predictions down below in the live chat. If you're not watching live, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. You guys know the drill. Drop it down below in the comment section. Okay, so as you guys know, we do weekly picks here on the Purple Rain podcast, week in and week out. But we would be remiss if we were not transparent about what we did and how we did last week in terms of the pick percentage. Just to give you a little bit of a preview here, Alex did a lot better than I did. A lot better than I did last week. So I was 37% from the field last week, and Simply was 56%, hitting over half of his predictions. So shout out to Simply AS10 picking it up from weeks 1. Yeah.
Where did he go wrong last week? The Ravens obviously hurt.
The Ravens hurt. There were a couple others. I picked the
Cardinals, number 1. Obviously, that right, upset.
Yeah.
There was where's the other upsets? I know there's one more too.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. There were a couple of them. I think the Chargers and Vikings game. We both picked the Vikings on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Chargers won. There were a couple of them for sure.
Let's hit 75%. Let's get 3 out of 4 right this week. I think we can do that.
I think we can do that too. I think we can do it too. Do you have the weekly matchups ready to go?
I do. Boz, correct. Yeah, Boz is right. We both picked the Raiders. I wasn't going to expect Calvin Austin to have a 70-yard touchdown. I'll tell you that. So even if you were to say Devontae Adams had like 160-some yards and the Raiders lose, I would have called you a liar. But no, that's how it went. Yeah.
Hey, it's football, man. It's crazy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cue the music so we can get into some week 4 picks.
Yes. There it is. All right. Starting off tonight. Thursday football. I'm repping them. The Detroit Lions against the Green Bay Packers. The first time starting 1986, they've been favorites going into Lambeau when the Packers have their starting quarterback out there. Who do you got?
Ooh, I believe Aaron Jones is coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christian Watson should be playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still no David Bakhtiari, guys like that, unfortunately. But I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. I'm going to ride with Detroit. Again, I just love the operation that Dan Campbell has going on there. And it'll be interesting to see them play on live TV, on national television for the first time in a little while. So I'm gonna go with the Lions in this one. I do like, I said it last week, I do like what they got going on in Green Bay with Jordan Love and those guys, but the Lions, man, I'm on Ross St. Brown and Jared Goff. I think that they have a pretty good connection. I also really like Sam Laporta as well, the tight end, rookie tight end. So yeah, give me the Lions in a close one.
Yeah, I obviously love the Lions tonight. Jared Goff is 10-3 in his last 13 starts. I believe 22 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The hashtag, that's my second quarterback. Love seeing Jerry Goofball ball. Give me the Lions tonight and give me a Jerry Jacobs interception as well. I would love that. Feed families. Moving on though, in London, Falcons and the Jaguars. I believe they're playing at Wembley Stadium. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Give me Jacksonville. It's their second home. They play here every single year because they're a whack job of an owner. The Falcons, Desmond Mitter doesn't look good at all. Kyle Pitts is just being underutilized, like awful, even sparking up trade interest. Yeah, give me the Jags in this one. I need a bounce back from them.
Yeah, as a Kyle Pitts fantasy owner, I really do wish the Falcons would trade Kyle Pitts because they are not utilizing him nearly as much as they should. But yeah, give me the Jags in this one too. Like you said, they play there every single year. Hell, they might move out there within the next couple of seasons. So, and I get Trevor Lawrence hasn't been all of what's expected of him so far this year, but that's the team. That's the type of team that can definitely heat up. So, and I think this is one of those games where they do that. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep, and now moving on to the Rams and the Colts, who we saw last week. Anthony Richardson will be playing. The Rams showed me a little something on Monday night, but didn't show me enough. I like the Colts in this one. After watching that defense, see what they did to the Ravens. I know the weather, seeing even guys like Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, I'm sorry, looking as good as he did. I like the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I'd go with the Colts too. I mean, like you said, that defense, man, I just think it's going to be a little bit too much for the Rams right now. Again, they look decent last week, but yeah, give me the well, give me the Colts. Yeah, give me the Colts.
Okay. Ravens and Browns, obviously, we were split on that one. Vikings and Panthers. Bryce Young is practicing, should be back. Who do you got?
Vikings. Give me the Vikings, man. 0-3 right now. Back is literally up against the wall for everybody. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson might request a trade. Who knows? But I think they pull this one out. I think that the Panthers are still, again, trying to figure things out. I said it last week when they played, I think it was the Seahawks. The Panthers just aren't a refined team yet. They're just not. So, yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings as well. The Panthers showed me a little something against the Seahawks. Mainly Adam Thielen and Andy Dalton. They were low-key kind of cooking, I'm not going to lie. Thielen was doing his thing and so was Dalton. Couldn't pull it out, though. I like the Vikings in this one. Moving on to the Bengals and the Titans. I like the Bengals in this one. The Titans don't even look like a football team. I don't know how the Chargers lost to them. Even with Joe Burrow not 100%, he has my respect. Obviously, he fought through hell to play on Monday, but he did it, and they got the win. Give me the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, pretty simple for me. I'm going to go Bengals, too, in this one.
Buccaneers and Saints. Obviously, the Bucs lost on Monday night to the Eagles. Saints had a heartbreaker against the Packers last week. In the Superdome, I like Derek Carr and the Saints. The Bucs defense is flying, but the Saints at home, you got to win this game. This game is going to mean a lot when it comes down to the NFC South.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one right here. But I am going to go with the Saints in this one too. I'm gonna go with the Saints. I've been doubting them a lot lately, but I think they've been playing some pretty solid football. Kind of one of those underrated teams, if I could say. So yeah, let me go with the Saints.
And this is my game of the week right here. AFC East matchup, the Dolphins and the Bills in Orchard Park. I've been doubting Tua a lot. I call him Tua turn the ball over. I'm sorry, I can't doubt him anymore. Right now, he's the MVP favorite. I think he's the MVP front runner. Give me the Dolphins in this one.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Bills.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Bills. I feel like the Bills have a at least right now stronger defense. I don't think that Tyreek Hill is going to go completely crazy on the Bills defense this week, and I just feel like because the Bills are at home, right?
Yes.
Gonna be a ton of pride in that stadium. I really don't see the Dolphins marching into the Buffalo Bills stadium and just kind of taking over like they did against the Broncos. I just don't see it. Yeah. I do think that it'll be a close game. Maybe one team pulls away in the late portion of the game, but give me the Bills in this one, man. The Bills have been playing too good of football lately. I know 70 points last week is amazing, but let me get the Bills.
Okay. I'm sorry. The game of the week is obviously the 0-3 Broncos against the 0-3 Bears. This is a game I want to be locked in on at 1 o'clock on Sunday. This is like a real stinker of two teams. I think the Broncos are a better team. I think they're the better coach team. So I like the Broncos getting their first win against the Bears.
Yeah, I like the Broncos in this one too. And let me just say, I mean, for whatever team loses this game, they're kind of punting on the season, right? I mean, because you start 0-4, that's kind of it. You're not really. It's so hard to bounce back from that. You know, it's hard to bounce back from 0-3. Shit, but 0-4 is a totally different scenario, and I think that I think the Broncos come out on top in this one.
And now another 1 o'clock good game is the Commanders and the Eagles. The Commanders had that awful game last week, but kind of have a chance to bounce back against the Eagles, who look pretty damn good, even with their QB1 sick. I like the Eagles in this one. As much as I want to say the Commanders, they just didn't show me anything last week. And when I expect them to show me at least something, I couldn't even get that. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles just simply have more ways to win a football game than the Commanders do. So for that reason, let me go with the Eagles.
Yeah, and even the Commanders, like, it feels like Terry McLaurin's kind of underutilized in some games. Like the game before against the Broncos, he was up there cooking, and then the last week just wasn't happening. So hopefully they get it together. Now, here's a pretty damn good game. The Steelers and the Texans. Texans have definitely shown me a little something. Their defense has been looking better. But the Steelers showed me something last week. Yeah. And as much as I would like to see the Steelers lose, I think they're going to win this game against the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers as well. Really like what I've been seeing from CJ Stroud so far. I mean, I think he won Offensive Rookie of the Month, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think that the Steelers defense is going to formally introduce him into this league. TJ Watt will be in his face, in his grill all night or all day, whatever time they play. But let me get the Steelers in this one.
Yes, indeed. Let me pull the schedule back up. Sorry about that. And then moving on now, I believe in our 4 o'clock window, the Raiders and the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this one. Had a good win last week. I think they're going to keep it going.
Yeah, I got the Chargers in this one too. Like you said, I think they're 1-2 right now. Just got their first win last week. They're definitely going to be wanting to build upon that because the Chargers had high expectations coming into the season, and I know Justin Herbert is balling right now, and I think he continues to do that on Sunday. So yeah, let me get the Chargers.
This game, Cardinals and Niners. I know the Cardinals had a good win last week against the Cowboys. The 49ers are not the Cowboys. They are a better coach team, and they're a better team. Give me the Niners in this one at home.
Wait, Niners and who? I'm sorry.
Cardinals.
Oh yeah. Let me get the Niners in this one. The Niners are not the Cowboys. They are a better football team all around than the Cowboys are. Let me get the Niners.
And now, interesting game: the Patriots and the Cowboys. I'll go first. Give me the Patriots. Upset of the week. I think it's going to happen. Zeke, I think will maybe let them know about some little things. And I think the Patriots are just kind of playing with that. We really don't care right now. I think they know they won't make the playoffs. So, why not go and try to ruin teams already? I know it's only week 4, but I just don't see the Patriots at all sniffing the playoffs. So, I think they're going to win this game and go 2-2. Maybe try to spark something. But yeah, I like the Patriots.
That would be a hell of an upset. But I I don't see it coming to fruition. I got the Cowboys in this one.
Okay, for sure.
Again, I just think that the Cowboys just have more ways to win than the Pats do.
Yeah. I like I said, I saw a report like the Cowboys are kind of worried about the Patriots might have something on them, so maybe that's why I'm picking them. But watch the Cowboys. I'm picking it just to be different. All right. Moving on to our Sunday night game, the Chiefs and the Jets. And nothing would make me happier, honestly, than the Jets to win this game. But I don't think it's going to happen. Give me the Chiefs and over under of Taylor Swift being shown 5.5.
Oh, over.
Okay.
Easy over.
See, that's a problem. I get once or twice. I don't want to go on a rant. I am so fucking tired of it already. And we're not even like a week into it. I don't fucking care.
I mean, it's going to be every touchdown, every big Travis Kelce play, you know, and there's a lot of opportunities for both of those things to happen in abundance when you're watching the Chiefs. So then I hear news that I'm scrolling on Twitter. I see news that Mahomes' wife is hitting it off with Taylor Swift and now they're buddies and what. I don't know. I'm glad it's not my franchise. That's all I have to say.
Keep that drama over there because when it blows up, hopefully our team is sitting there just coasting and cruising to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you got the Chiefs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. And do we see Trevor Siemian in this game? Actually, is this the Zach Wilson era ending? We think?
I don't think that it would be this game. I think that Robert Saleh will, because he's kind of defended Zach Wilson. You know, like he's our guy. He's who we're rolling with. And I think it was Joe Namath who came out earlier this week and said like, hey, look, like obviously Zach's not the guy. They should go get another quarterback. And then Robert Saleh coming out today saying, look, respectfully, we agree to disagree. So I think that Robert Saleh knows in the back of his head, look, Zach Wilson's not the long-term option. Otherwise, we would have never gotten Aaron Rodgers in the first place. You know, so he's probably thinking like, you know, we'll give him one more game. We'll give Zach Wilson one more game. If he shits the bed again, then we'll look to other options, you know. But I think he'll have the courtesy of getting at least one more full game.
Cool. And finally, we're going back to just one game on Monday nights, the Seahawks and the Giants. I like the Giants in this one, but I'm going to pick the Seahawks. I like them to have a strong game, but Geno showed me something last week. That offense showed me something. Give me the Seahawks. By 3 points.
I'm going to go Seahawks too. I agree with you and Dre on this one. The Giants, man, they don't seem like a complete team with an identity yet all the way. And it's kind of been that way for the past couple of years and kind of the whole Daniel Jones era. But yeah, give me the Seahawks in this one. They're just a little bit more put together. I love Geno Smith. I mean, I'm becoming more and more fond of Geno Smith. You know, I think it was like a mic'd up or something like that of Geno Smith the other day. Hell, you might have posted it. I can't remember. But yeah, I like Geno Smith in the Seahawks.
To JSN. You haven't posted that one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one.
Much respect to Geno. He's really shown he's a true professional, a class act, so rooting for him.
Yeah. And that does it for this week's picks. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into that segment. It's one of our favorites personally. K-Dog shouting out right here says, can we all take a minute and please just smash that damn like button? We need 50 or them kids don't eat. And they're looking a little underfed. So yeah, make sure you guys
we're halfway there. Halfway there.
Come on, guys. Let's go ahead and like the video. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. If you're listening to this, leave a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. We appreciate you. Yes, you.
Yes.
Okay. So getting into the next portion of the show, we have what we like to call the Purple Rain parlays.
Yes.
So This is the segment that we've debuted this season, as you guys know, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So I'm excited to get into week 4 of the Purple Rain parlay. Let me just kind of toot my own horn here. I wasn't right about the Thursday night football picks from last week, but I was right about the Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown, and he actually got 2 of them. So
let him cook. Let Sutton cook. Time to tell y'all.
saying.
So tonight I actually have a little bit of a parlay cooked up. Call me crazy.
Okay.
But
Let's go.
yeah. So I have the Lions. Obviously, I have them winning it, but here's where we're gonna cook. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown 50+ yards. I have the Josh Reynolds over, which on DraftKings was 31.5. And then the tight ends, Sam Laporta and Luke Musgrave, each getting 25 yards. Nothing crazy, but I can definitely see those four things happening, especially the Lions. They love to throw. I know David Montgomery is back there, Jahmyr Gibbs, but Goff will sit back and sling that thing.
Yeah, he will. He will. And I like that. I like that. I actually don't have any plays for tonight's game,
Okay.
but I do have a play for the Ravens game.
Okay.
And that is going to be two things, both overs. I need you guys to take the over on Gus Edwards' rushing yards line. Can you check that for me? The line on Gus Edwards' rushing yards?
Happily.
Yeah, whatever the number is. I assume it'll probably be like maybe 48.5 or something like that. 47.5. I don't know. But I'm gonna go the over on Gus Edwards rushing yards. Now I kind of want to know what it is. I feel like I'm right. I feel like I'm really close, at least.
It's not on DraftKings.
Oh, it's not on
Okay.
DraftKings?
So I'll
Okay.
look up FanDuel. I'll go on FanDuel right now
Hey,
and take a look.
there it is. So while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and give my second one. So, like I said, Gus Edwards over on the rushing yards. And then also Mark Andrews over on the receiving yards as well. Our guy Max Offit brought it up earlier. Mark Andrews is a Brown killer. And guess what? Mark Andrews hasn't really been getting a whole lot of production since he's been back. So I think that this is a week where they kind of emphasize him in the game plan. And I think he'll easily crush his line, whatever that is too. And I assume that's probably in the high or maybe low 40s, something like that.
And the Ravens are also underdogs this week. Dope. Okay. I like that. There are no lines out yet for the Ravens for the rushing yards.
Damn.
So I'm going to check online now.
Yeah, but they have them normally, like you can find them on Google or something. But yeah, so again, Gus Edwards over on the rushing yards and Mark Andrews over on the receiving yards. I have a lot of faith in both of those picks. A lot of faith. We got Bailey got beats in the house, says replay gang in the house. What's going on, Bailey? We appreciate you for coming through. K-Dog shouting out the Rain Gang family. Appreciate that. Our guy Dre says, I finally hit on parlay. Bengals over Rams, Eagles over Bucks, and Mike Evans 55 yards and over 4 catches. Nice hit. That's a nice hit. I like it. Shout out to you, Dre. Yeah.
So the
Boz
Lamar
saying
Jackson,
here, like the video, or the kids don't eat, they're malnourished.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
The Lamar Jackson rushing yard line is 48.5. The Mark Andrews receiving yards line is 49.5.
Huh. A little high from Mark, but maybe they know what we know.
I'll
I'll still go with the over on Mark.
I think he's gonna get over 49, 100%.
Yeah. I still go. I'll take the over for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and
what about Gus?
winning.
Is Gus on there?
Gus is not on there.
He's not on there. Okay, got you. I still think that he's probably going to open up probably on game day around like 46.5, 47.5, maybe somewhere around there.
Yep.
Hammer the over.
Right there with you.
Let me see. Manuel's COD channel says, I will say Lamar will get 250 through the air and 2 touchdowns. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. If that happens, I strongly believe we win the game. Because if Lamar Jackson is throwing for over 250 plus yards, we're probably well, I can't say that. I'd be kind of contradicting myself. I was gonna say we'd probably be controlling the game, but if we were controlling the game, we'd probably be running a lot more. But if we're getting 250 through the air, that means we're getting big plays. And if we're getting big plays, then that means we're getting opportunities to score. And that just bodes well for us. We just couldn't do that. We had so many 3-and-outs last week. It was ridiculous. But 250 through the air, Lamar, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So that is the Purple Rain parlay for this week. You can double back next week, see how we did. We've been doing pretty well so far. So yeah, you know, maybe heed a little bit of our advice for sure. Okay. Football, and with that being said, for sure, for football.
Yeah.
and some of it, because you guys saw the pick percentages too. But yeah. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get our questions segment going here. You guys can go ahead and drop your questions down below in the chat. Any questions, comments, concerns about football, about basketball. Maybe you want to talk about Damian Lillard going to the Bucks. I don't know. You talk about anything that you want to. Just throw it down below in the chat. It doesn't even have to be about sports, to be honest with you. Just throw it down below in the chat, and we will go ahead and talk about it. Yeah. Let's see. Dre saying here, I would go over with Mark is due for a big game. Yeah, he is. He's due for a really big game, man. I mean, one of those games where he's got like a touchdown and 124 yards receiving. That sort of thing. That sort of thing. Zach saying here, Sutton, I face you in fantasy this week. Speaking of fantasy, while you guys get your questions down below in there, let's take a look at the Rain Gang fantasy leaderboards, shall we? So
Why
that's going to
not?
be up to date. Up to date as of this week. Mod Rush, Mother Tucker, is number 1 in the league. Number 1. That's really good. He's 3-0 right now. The only undefeated team in the fantasy league. So shout out to him. NFL Young Boy is number 2. That's actually my good friend Cal. So shout out to her. She's doing really well. She's 2-1 in the league. And then we've got me all the way down at number 7. I am 1-2, which is crazy because I thought my team was gonna be really good. I think I have Lamar Jackson. I have fucking DeAndre Swift. I have Christian McCaffrey. How am I losing? I have Debo Samuel. How am I losing? You know, I don't get it. I don't get it.
See,
But then honestly,
that's fantasy. You think you have a good team, and then it just.
But see, look, the points against though. You got to look at the points against. So points for and points against. I have the most. I have 420 points scored against me. So when teams play me, they are balling out. I guess I just need to play better defense. I don't know. Yeah. And we got Alex down at spot number 10, who is also 1-2, just like me. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough for your channel creators. It's been rough for sure. But we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Just like with the picks, we'll bounce back. All right, let's go ahead and take some questions here from you all. We got our first super chat donation. This one's coming from Chike. Thank you so much, Chike, making it rain here, dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Chike, we appreciate you. Says the Super Bowl match you both want to see is blank.
Okay. Biased Ravens Niners.
Okay.
Non-biased Niners Dolphins.
Do we really want to see the Miami in the Super Bowl?
I think storyline will be crazy. Mike McDaniel against, his old team, 2 amazing offenses. I wouldn't hate Niners Chiefs again, but I wouldn't like, if those 2 are still together. I'm their biggest hater right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
would go, bias or non-bias. I'm gonna go Ravens versus Eagles. That's what I would say. I've been clamoring for a Bird Bowl, man. I really want to see it. And Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson would just be the ultimate storyline to me. That would just be awesome. 2 running quarterbacks, 2 black quarterbacks. It would be great. It would be great. I would love that. But that's just me. I would like to know what you guys think about that as well. But thank you so much again, Chike, for your super chat donation. Let's see. Zach with another super chat donation, dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here. Thank you so much, Zach. Says, sucks. I literally chose the Blazers as my team because of Dame, but got to stick with them for Scoot and the young core. Yeah, Scoot Henderson and them boys. The Blazers, they're a couple years away from being contenders for sure. Lots of young guys on that team, but overall, what did you think about Damian Lillard going to the Bucks, Alex?
I would have banked it was going to go to the Heat. I thought it was the Heat to lose, and yeah, I guess good for them. Another super team. Sucks because I'm a Bulls fan, so they're in the same division. Happy Grayson Allen's gone, though. Can't stand him. Dirty-ass player. He can go wherever. Yeah. But yeah, congrats to Milwaukee for, I guess, clinching their Eastern Conference championship. Probably going to win that. Be at the fun. But then again, I can't really say that because last year I thought the Suns were going to make it, and then KD went down. So if they're healthy, I think they can definitely win the East again.
Yeah, and I was surprised that they didn't have to give up like a Chris Middleton to get Damian Lillard. So they've still got a lot of that roster intact. So they're going to make some noise. They're going to make some noise this season. And I'm sure Damian Lillard is just ecstatic to finally get out of Portland,
And how is Tyler Herro still in Miami? Like every single summer, it's like he's the guy that's going to get moved, and just he's still there, still sticking around.
Yeah. Let's see. Darth Vader says, what do you think about our O-line against Myles Garrett? Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the show. I was saying, like, personally, I would like to see a lot of, heavy personnel, a lot of tight ends chipping before Myles Garrett even gets to the offensive tackle. because you're just gonna have to keep that guy busy. You're gonna have to keep somebody in that guy's face all game long. Or if you let him get too comfortable, he's gonna, make your quarterback uncomfortable, and that's just not gonna bode well for our team
Game
or our
record.
Sundays just as a whole. I don't want my Sunday to be ruined by Myles Garrett. I just don't. That's me
Yeah.
personally.
Last week was already ruined. So let's not have it too.
Let's see. My guy Gerald in the house. What's going on, G Money? Says, what up, PRP? What's going on, man? Appreciate you for coming through. Also says, are we showing the other birds some love, man? We showing them some love, man. I'm actually going to Orioles game tomorrow. I'm going to the Orioles game tomorrow, man.
Love right there.
Yeah. I'll be documenting from the game. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Sudden Death. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a couple more questions from you guys down here. Boz says Blazers are a terrible franchise. They just didn't want to see Dame in Miami. Dame in Miami would have been fun, though. It'd have been so much fun.
That's coming from a hater of a Heat fan. See, Boz is a Heat fan. So I see why he said that. I get it. I understand why you feel that way. We've all been there.
Let's see. Emmanuel's COD channel says, will Dante Demas be called up this week or Tariq Black?
Neither. Laquan Treadwell.
I like that. I want to see Dante Demas get an opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
Maryland kid. I mean, I would love to see that. Let's see. K-Dog in the house says, I think Clowney has got something to prove to the Browns. And, it's been funny. Like all week, he's been like saying like, oh, I don't care about the Browns. I have nothing to say about them. I'm a Raven. What do you think about that?
He's being professional. I respect it. I mean, why would he give them any, what was it? Motivation.
Bulletin board material.
Bulletin board material. Why would he do that? Why would he,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I guess the way he's kind of like coming off about it, it does sound like a little bit like a little salty, just a little bit. Like, bro, you can't give us anything. Like, we know you got to be feeling something, right? Like, you spent time with that organization. You're going up against them this week. And I get being professional, by all means, but he kept the cards very, very close to the chest with that topic for sure. But yeah, let's see. I think Ryan says, what you doing if the O's win it all?
Calling up some haters. I have them. I definitely have some Orioles haters in my phone. Calling them up. Probably won't be expecting me to call, but I will be calling them.
Yeah.
Getting absolutely wasted. Like, I will be going to the parade.
Yeah.
Would be our first, since 83. Yeah, it would be a fun time. Winning a World Series is a lot different than winning a Super Bowl. Can't say I know what winning a World Series is like, but seeing it happen, insane. Yeah. So I need that to happen. And then, the Ravens go win the Super Bowl, we be, baseball and football. Baltimore. Perfect.
Baltimore sports. Hell yeah. Okay. Gonna go ahead and leave it there for the question segment in this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Again, thank you guys so much for coming through. If you're just getting in here, just go ahead and hit that rewind button. Take the little playhead cursor, move it all the way to the front, and just listen back to what we said, because we got a lot of good things in here talking about how the Ravens can beat the Browns, and hopefully they do. Alex picked them to win. I picked them to lose. Hopefully Alex is right, and hopefully I am wrong. But again, thank you guys for coming out to this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. You guys can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, like you see down below. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. You can follow this guy over here on Twitter at SimplyAS10, on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod. And then most importantly, you guys can go on manscaped.com per usual. You guys can go ahead and get whatever you want from manscaped.com. And as long as you put in our code PRP at checkout, you're going to get yourself 20% off plus free international shipping. You guys know the drill. Okay. Again, I just want to thank you guys personally for rocking out with us. Episode 196. We're coming up on 200 very, very soon. We will be doing something for you guys. So just stay on the lookout for that. But yeah, again, thank you guys. And with that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Gerald, he says he expecting to see us wearing Oriole hats. My guy, I got mine right here.
I don't have one on standby. I'm not gonna lie.
It's always next to me. All right. Of course we have it. But yeah, thank you all for coming through to episode 196 of the Purple Rain Podcast. I hope next Monday's or this Monday's episode is a lot better than last Monday's for obvious reasons. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. It's been episode 196 of the Purple Rain